Hey there, everybody. Rathlick Catholic here. So, I wanted to give my testimony. So, I started out in a non denominational church. I had just gotten custody of my kids. I'd only had them for a few months. Well, I ran into this girl I was staying at my mom's house, and this girl lived right around the corner. It was a good high school buddy of mine's sister. So we started talking, started dating, and she invited me to go to church, to this non-denominational church. Now, my mom's Catholic, and the only churches I had ever been to were Catholic churches. And I rebelled hard against God when I was younger. So at this point in time in my life, I was more agnostic, I guess. Like, I kind of believed that there was a God, but wasn't sure. So I go to this non-denominational church, and they started playing music, and it felt like the Spirit of God moved upon me. And instantly, I was into the church. So I started going there every Wednesday night and every Sunday. And I loved it, loved every bit of it. Well, then, kick it up about a year, got my own place down in the city. Me and the kids did. I was going to school, and I started watching videos on YouTube, preachers and stuff. Well, I ran across Charles Lawson, who's a great preacher. Love him to death. He was a King James Only Baptist. So I started watching his videos and realized that the NIV I had been reading from wasn't the best Bible in the world. I mean, they make it seem like it's the devil's Bible, but, I thought that too. I moved on from that since then, but I thought that too. So I found a King James Only Baptist church in the area, started going there. I wanted to be a preacher, but I had a drug problem. So I was battling that while trying to work on being a preacher. I was studying a lot. I've actually got the paperwork somewhere here. This folder right here. It has ministry training and stuff. So I was really into it, and that's where I thought I was going with it. Well, started listening to more Baptist and Pentecostal preachers online and everything. Started hearing about how evil the Catholic Church was, how everybody that goes to the Catholic Church is a pagan and they're going to hell. And, my mom's a Catholic, my sister's a Catholic, most of that side of my family are Catholics. So I started to wonder, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta save them. I gotta save their souls. So I started preaching at them and stuff, and they were just kind of like, whatever, Greg, whatever. So I started to look into the Catholic Church to see exactly how evil it was. And the more research I did, the more I believed it. I had books and everything that said that the Pope was the Antichrist or the false prophet and this, and that. Well, I wanted to hear their side of the story, because at this point in time I was only hearing the Baptist preachers and all of them talk about how evil they were, so I wanted to hear their side of the story. So I started listening to some Catholic apologists, and it started to make sense. So they were saying that Jesus created the Catholic Church. He gave it to Peter. Peter, feed my flock. And Peter was the first pope. So I'm like, So I started to look into it and realized that the Baptist was created by man, Pentecostals created by man, Catholics created by Jesus. So I'm like, So I started getting Catholic material, and it just seemed like God was pulling me in that direction, because I would go to the Brighton Center and they had a shelf full of books. Well, every time I would go there, there'd be a new Catholic book, and then I found a catechism there. And it was just like boom, 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 boom. Like all this Catholic material just started pouring out at me. So I'm like, this is weird. This is crazy. The Catholics are all pagans. What am I doing? Constantine just merged paganism and Christianity together. What am I doing? What am I doing? So then I started looking into it and started to realize that they're right. Jesus did start the Catholic Church. Gave it to Peter. Peter was the Pope. It was amazing. It was amazing to me. And then I started reading some of the church fathers material and Thomas Aquinas and Saint Ignatius. Then some Saint Augustine. And I'm like, wow, these guys are really deep. Like, they get really, really into it. So it pulled me right into the Catholic Church. And then I got with my girlfriend, and she's a Catholic. Her family's Catholic. So I started going to the Catholic Church. I started reading the Catechism. I started in the RCIA classes. And in the RCIA classes, it was already stuff that I had known. And then, life happened. Was going through a bunch of things and had to work all the time when the classes were going on, so I dropped out of the RCIA classes. But I kept reading and reading and reading about the Catholic Church, and now I love it. I love everything about the Catholic Church. I started praying the Rosary every single day. I read a book about the Rosary, where it came from, and all of that. It's a beautiful story, and it was just an amazing experience for me. And I encourage anybody out there, any Pentecostal, any Baptist, any Protestant out there, any non-Catholic, do your research. Just look into it. Look at where your denomination came from. They all came from man. The Catholic Church came from Jesus. That should be enough for anybody. So this is the very first video that I'm going to put out that's got me in it talking. And I'm working on a lot more to prove to all my Baptist friends and all my Pentecostal friends that the Catholic Church is the way. It's the way. It's the only church. It is the bride of Christ. Regardless of all the evil stuff that's happened inside of it, Jesus said the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So keep that in mind, y'all. Do your research. I'm going to start making videos to prove it. So I love y'all. God bless y'all, and God willing, I'll see you next video. Peace.